Good evening, friends. A very warm welcome to one and all. I'm Tina Gadodia and wishing you all a very happy new year. Hope this Diwali brings lots and lots of learning, education, and wisdom in your life. So let's begin. So, as we say that in Diwali, the most important thing is like to worship the Lord Lakshmi part of it. But more than that, it's very important to worship Lord Saraswati, the goddess Saraswati, the wisdom. So, to start with, let's remember goddess Saraswati and to hope that we get lot of knowledge. We increase our kitty of new knowledge bank. We enhance our understanding in the market, which can help us to write the trading career well. So with that note, let's begin our today's session. So, friends, in this period, so last 2 months, we have introduced lots of new products in Quantsapp. So, be it charts, be it band historical, something like advanced decline, and to do with the bulk block, there are many new products which we have come up. So, the only main focus has been like to come up with the products which gives a value addition to our analysis, because in today's generation the most important thing is data, and how well we are able to read that data makes the complete difference in our trading. So today session we are concentrating about the charts, which is the latest introduction in the concept. So we nearly have around 50 products in concept right now, and the charts having the recent entry. So without wasting much time, let's begin. So first of all, congratulations to everyone for Nifty moving to the lifetime high and with the stocks now participating. So hope that gets cheers to everyone's face. So if you look at today's market, the one of the oldest product which we call up like a built up one, the most important thing is to look at how the market breadth has been. So if I have to look today, there were 81 stocks which were on the long side, 35 on the short side, 10 on the long unwinding side, and 11 on the short covering side. So surely today was a day wherein a lot of OI has been added on the future side. Either it's on the long side or a short side. The Glips Nifty, we have 0.8% price was up with the OI up by 4%. While Bank Nifty, the price was up by 2% and OI up was 8%. So we have today's trading wherein like metals were shining. So yeah, so a lot of glitters, the shine was seen in the metal stocks, be it Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, so on. Also, we had SBI, the banking stocks participating a lot. So we have SBI now moving to 240 levels. Now, this has been our standard way of looking wherein the price and OI. So how do we trade the charts, or why charts becomes important? So today we'll see how we can optimally utilize the chart features and enhance our trading style, or you can say profitability. So when it comes to charts, we have a normal technical charts which we all are very much into. So when we say that technical analysis is in the blood of all the traders in India, so everyone is doing some sort of technical analysis here and there, but definitely we are doing it. So we have a normal technical charts, so courtesy to TradingView, which has given us this platform. So we have the data coming from the concept team, and the platform is of TradingView. So you will see a lot of analytical stuff which is being used here. Now, what difference we recommend is like when we do an options thing. So the very important thing comes up is to understand how the IVs are moving for that option, how the open interest is moving for that option, and along with that, how the Greeks are moving. So in this effort, the charts which are presented to you will have three forms. The one, you have a normal charts, which is like any single price action chart, price charts. Then you have the Greeks chart, that's basically delta, theta, vega, gamma. Those the four critical Greeks which comes into it, or which become the you can see a precursor in determining the trend. I'll show you how you can use it in a better format. And then you obviously have the strategy charts, because when you do a trading, so what difference we have seen over the period, over my entire career in the derivative market, one thing is very crystal clear: people are now getting very comfortable with strategies. So be it like a bull call spread, bear put spread, it has become a new norm. So people are getting very much educated in terms of how to utilize a strategy. Also iron butterfly, those are very common ones. So it's very important to see how your strategy is behaving over the period. So when I say options, the most beautiful thing is the number of parameters are just limited. So you just have to focus on very few stuff. But those few stuff makes the crystal clear vision to your entire decision. So understanding it is very important. So let's focus on how we utilize the chart. So we have one by default charts. So first we'll take the single chart. So when you go to the web application, so we have presently the charts available in the web application, that's web.concept.com, as well as in the Android one. Definitely iOS is coming up. So we have some very good changes coming up in iOS. So that is taking a bit time, but surely things are in track and we will be having charts very soon live on iOS too. But not to get disheartened, you have web available to everyone as well as the Android. So when it comes to web.concept.com, the charts is the second product. So when you click on these three lines on the left side corner, you will see all the products which are available. So it's divided into analytics and tools. So in analytics, the second product is charts, under which we have a single chart and strategy chart. Tools are basically good to know stuff. So wherein you have the result calendar, circulars, SGX, Nifty, the daily updates. Then you have deals and holdings, certain things which we fail to look out to. Then liquidity finder, option calculator. So let's move to charts. The first is a single chart. So what does the single chart does? So single chart is plotting single leg options or only the futures one. So the single leg one, okay? So you have the futures. So when I say Reliance, so you have only Reliance, you have Reliance with 3 expiries, and then you have the complete option. So the only Reliance means the Reliance rolling future. Okay, so first month future rolling. So right now November is the first month future. Once the November expiry is done, December becomes it. So it's always the rolling first month future. So you are able to see the continuous chart of Reliance. So if I do it daily, so this is the daily rolling future chart of Reliance. Price and OI are the by default parameters which we have added. And the time frame is in the interval of 5 minutes. So you have 5, 10, 15, 30, 45, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. So indicators, you have all the standard indicators which is available in TradingView. Apart from that, you have some custom indicator of Quantsapp which starts with letter Q. So if you look at Q, so you will see delta, gamma, IV, OI, theta, vega, right? So I'll explain each and every stuff. So let's understand it. Also, you'll see, you'll wonder what is delta and delta on price. I'll show you that too. So once it come here, you have the price plotted on the top side, the OI plotted on the below, on the lower panel. Now, let's understand first with Nifty. So when I do Nifty future, You have Nifty at 12,889. So the closing was nearly 12,889. I do 5 minutes to see the intraday. So what was the day today? So we had a good gap up. Definitely started with a very strong momentum. We made a high of 12,906.8. We saw intraday dip wherein it nearly bridged the entire gap. We made a low of 12,801, and then we quickly recovered and we closed just near the high, not exactly, so 12,889, so just shy of 12,900. So this was the day. How did the OI behaved? So if you look at, when we gapped up, there was a minor jump in the OI. Thereafter, prices were down, the OI was going higher, and then we saw a minor dip in OI, and again it rallied. So overall, it was a long built-up day for the Nifty. Correct? The price and OI action. Similarly, you have a Bank Nifty. When I say now, so Bank Nifty, look at the OI wasn't that much. So OI was a range bound one. We saw Bank Nifty high morning was 29,091, which got removed towards the ending session. So after 3 o'clock, we saw a good spurt happening in the Bank Nifty. We saw the shedding in the OI. So sort of like all the intraday short traders would have done, they would have exited it. So we have a OI which was sliding down and the prices were going higher. So overall trend remains positive. So when it look at charts, so you have a free version as well as the pro version. So in the free version, you have the price and OI data available both for daily and intraday basis, be it futures and options. So definitely if you're an option trader, future trader, you can have the intraday updates of price and OI for free on Quantsapp. Now, when you're a pro trader, so what add-on you get it is the Greeks. So let me first put some option. So if I say Bank Nifty 19 November 20, so how do you put the ticker? So very simple logical way of understanding. First put the symbol space expiry. So expiry is in the form of DD, that's date. Then you have the month and then the last 2 digits of the year. So it is 19 is the latest expiry, NOV November, and 2020. So 20 is the year. Then comes the space. So once you do the space, you see all the options. So you'll see the top 25. Once you put some strike, so say for instance, I'm putting 29,000. So you have 29,000 call and put. I select 29,000 call. And here it is. So again, I'm repeating. The way to enter the ticker is put the symbol. It gets filtered with that symbol. Space, expiry for the option. So 19 November 20. Again the space, then the strike. Okay. And then you have call and put. So now if you look here, this is 29,000 call data of Bank Nifty 5 minutes. Let's put some indicator. I'm adding delta. Okay. So, well, I won't go deeper into the Greeks meaning, but definitely if you know it, it's a beauty. I would rather say it will enhance your trading a lot, because taking a decision based on Greeks will give you a crystal clear idea of how the underlying is moving. Is it favoring the long option? Is it favoring a short option? Because when you look at the chart per se, the single leg option, there would be a buyer, there would be a seller. But when to buy an option, when to sell an option is what we will be able to judge better if you know the Greeks, right? So when we talk about the delta, as we all know, delta is basically like a change in the option price because of the change in the underlying. So normally the call delta is in the range, is positive 0 to 100, while the put delta is negative 0 to minus 100. So when I say 100 for the call, that means it's a in the money option, deep in the money option. And when we say minus 100 for the put, that is deep in the money put option. Okay. So now if you look here, you have price, you have OI, you have delta. Just look at this chart. Okay. So you have from 13th November, we saw 100, almost like a 97, 98 option. Today it's at 400. Okay. What has happened on the OI front? So it's 13th November. So we have last expiry was 12th November, right? So now 13th was the first day of the weekly expiry. If we see that Friday, so the OI was just building up, and we saw the OI building up till the afternoon. So like a 2:45, we saw there is a good OI. Now, if you look at the delta, so 29,000 call delta was at 0.35, which dipped to 0.17. That means it was on the lower side. It was out of the money option. Again, it started moving higher. And if we start noticing, if we look at the breakout from the delta perspective, that gives us a very good idea of like whether the option is showing a positive trend or not. So if you look at, definitely there was a price thing action, but the conviction comes when there is a delta move. Because when you talk about delta, it takes into account the time decay also, the time which is left from the expiry perspective also. It takes into account the IV component also. So everything taken into account, and when that delta is giving you a breakout, it shows the trend, that the strength the trend is having. If we see that the price is moving higher, but it's shrinking, so you see that because of the IV, because of the time factor, so delta of 0.6, 0.5 is revolving around that level, then it's not worth it. But we see that here the breakout is coming. We saw that there was a recent, the breakout came up 0.35 and above, it started moving higher. And from this point, we saw that the option premium were in a new trajectory. It was moving higher and higher. So we saw that there's a range shift which was seen in the delta. Now, as we all know, how to create the range shift. So once we see the upper range moving higher, then it will consolidate and again it will move higher. So we need to always keep in mind where was the earlier support. Okay. So here, if you look here, so 0.35, the breakout came. Here we can go long. It moves higher. It all now taking a trade based on the target and stop loss. There isn't any target or stop loss per se. You have to do your own risk management. You can always refer to the previous swing high, swing low. Those concepts definitely comes handy, but always look at whether the Greeks are now turning or no, whether how the OI is behaving. So we all know that a short covering in option is very well played out. So if you are always like a momentum trader, look out for the short covering part of it. If you are a very good in the trend identification, go with the long options also. So always identify and see how the price and OI has been behaving, whether the OI increase is with the price or no. If it is there, that means it's a strong trend. Whether the OI increase is with the sideways and we are seeing the short getting created, and once that breakout comes, then that would be very fast. So if you look here during the intraday thing, so once we made the high at 10 o'clock of 412, thereafter the price were consolidating. So from 412, it came back to around 220. It was moving in the range. We saw the OI was getting accumulated, and last 30 minutes we saw that the OI shedding happened, right? So here you saw the OI shedding happen, and this price again moved higher, and the delta made a new high. So it shows that now the things are moving higher and higher. Definitely 29,000 29,200 it reaches, then it has to move higher. Let's see how the 29,200 call would have moved. So 29,200 call, this is the behavior. So we see that there was a initial basis, there was a short which was created from 13 till afternoon. We had it, and thereafter the OI shared it and the price moved higher. We saw a breakout in the delta too. So overall, if we are seeing that the same, you can say same momentum, same trend is there in the multiple strikes, that gives us even a higher conviction because entire band is shifting higher. So you can have a look with the charts along with the open interest. So definitely if I go and look at open interest, you put in the search open interest. So we see how, so you have 30,000 call as the highest one. If I change it from any custom time, say 17th, and I say from 12, so you see how the OI has been there. So there was a gradual increase in the put OI. So the put OI was increasing, the call unwinding was seen, and the upward shift was seen. So the call writers are shifting higher, the put writers are shifting higher. The highest call is placed at 30,000. So everything combined gives you a very strong analysis. So always, whenever you're taking a derivative, you need to combine various tools, understand the trend, understand how the Greeks are behaving intraday basis, take a judgment on how the price OI structure is, short covering, long, add the Greeks to it, and you'll see the fine tuning how the trade comes up. And 19 November 20, you have 29,200 C. Okay, so we add delta. So now we see that there are two deltas. One is delta and second is delta on price. So when we say delta on price, it gets plotted along with the price. So it gives you the proper analysis like how the prices are behaving. Okay, so taking a breakout not just based on the price breakout but based on the Greeks breakout is something which will help you to fine tune your strategy, which will help you to fine tune your picks. So not necessary always the price breakout will help out. So at times you will see that the Greeks will give you you can say it will give you information before any price moves comes up. You will start seeing how the delta is shifting the band. Is the theta, the decay of the theta is slowing out or no? So those factors will come into play. Now let's add another Greek. Well, when you're a long option, rising gamma is in your favor. So when you say for the gamma is like a intensifying, okay, so it intensifies your profit, it intensifies your losses also. So for a buyer of an option, gamma works in favor, while for the seller of an option it is against, right? So you'll always have when you're buying an option, the gamma value is positive, and you're selling an option, the gamma value is negative. So be it call, be it put, both remains the same. So long option, positive gamma, short option, negative gamma. Okay, so that's why people always say that you need to be very, very careful with the gamma part of it. So when you're buying an option, so not much to worry because rising gamma will only be beneficial to us. Correct? So if you look here, steadily we are seeing the gamma rise. That is also because the delta. So gamma is nothing but the change in delta because of the underlying. So it's a second derivative of a delta. So definitely the rising gamma helps us out, so which works in our trend. short covering in option along with delta band breakout, gamma rising, everything works in favor for the long option. Let's add theta. So theta is definitely decaying. So you were having like earlier last week's of Friday, the theta was minus 25.30. Right now the theta is minus 70. So there is always a trade-off when we are going a long option, because theta will work against for you, but the direction will work in favor for you. But one thing we all know, that the loss which will happen because of theta is a defined loss for a long option. When we are getting a delta spurt or the gamma spurt, the gain which will come on the directional move can compensate it quite a larger terms when it comes because of the theta. So just because of fearing, because of the time decay may not work always, because if the underlying trend is phenomenal, then your 100 rupees option will become 1000 rupees because the trend is in favor. So we should always have in mind if we are getting a directional breakout or no. If that we are getting the delta breakout, gamma breakout across the strikes, and if then the theta is going down, still we can go and buy the option because we know the direction is in favor. But if we start seeing that the delta is also consolidated, gamma is also slowing down, then at that terms we need to be little careful. Also, always remember to switch the strikes. When you go deep in the money, definitely the gamma will slope down. So don't forget your main concepts of Greeks, because always the gamma becomes highest for at the money option. So right now 29,200 is at the money option, so gamma will be rising. The moment the bank nifty moves to 29,500, this 29,200 option gamma will slope down because it has become now in the money. So always keep your back of the mind the thing. So gamma will slow down, but this delta will be nearly like a 0.8. So we need to always have a breakout seen from the delta perspective. See, is the theta impacting me a lot? How much will my gains because of the breakout of the delta or directional breakout will help me compensate the loss of theta or no? Right? So when you have these things in picture, you will definitely do a good one. So if we see here, gradually we are seeing a short covering in our option, which is a positive thing. We are seeing a upward shift happening in the delta bands, which is a positive thing. Gamma is favoring. Theta is sloping down, but the pace of slope is something which could be handled when we play well with the option. So from a single leg option, we can move to a strategy, take the benefit of time decay using the strategy. So you can always convert your strategy. So when we start seeing that, oh, the theta is sloping, theta pace is increasing, so I need to have something which can compensate me for that loss of theta. Then from a single leg option, you can move on to the strategy part, whatever. So we have been speaking about how the conversion happens, how the modifications. So these concepts of Greeks, use it along with that so that you can intensify your entire profitability curve. Then you have Vega. Vega sideways, nothing much. So nothing much to gain, nothing much to lose. So right now the IVs are there. So you can also add the IV. So single chart, you can have the IV chart also. So if you look here, the IV, so we saw the jump in IV today. So it was 36.35. So it's basically in favor of a long option only. If you don't see a spike down, then it's favorable only for the long option. IV becomes very, very important, especially when it has any event with us. So like when it comes to bank nifty, if you have a RBI policy, definitely don't forget to look at the IV, because the IV impact would be considerable when you have the RBI event or anything to do with the government announcing any policies or those parts. When it comes to the stocks, your results earning becomes very very important, and those period always remember to look at the IV, because you will wonder, oh, underline is moving higher but my option is not moving. You will get the answer from your IV chart. So look at how your intraday IV chart has been. The IV is dipping, or IV in of 80% coming to 50% will see a huge impact on option. So when you're taking the stock option, don't forget to look at the IV. Okay, especially when the IV is on the higher side. When it's on the lower side, so we won't see much of the fall in the IV also. But when the IV is above 50 pre-event, then there is a IV crash which comes post-event. During that period, you will see that the single leg option will start losing. So that's the time we can look at the strategy chart and see how the strategy chart is behaving. Maybe we can convert the single leg option to a ratio call spread, or we can do a, but if I'm a completely a conservative trader, I can go for a butterfly spread also. So this way, do remember to convert. If you're a professional option trader, if you are in front of your screen, always have that edge of switching from a single leg to a multi leg to again a single leg. So it's a big topic in itself, but it's a very very interesting, and especially if you have a bit of sense of that, definitely it can give wonders to your strategy. Okay, so this is how you have the Greeks and prices combined. Look at the OI, a simple way. OI is falling down, price is moving higher. In the option, short covering is something not to be missed out. You can miss out the long options, but you cannot miss out the short covering in options, because short covering in option is just like a 10-15 minutes play. And if you are very well on that point, then it's beauty. So let's do for say Axis Bank. So I put the Axis Bank symbol. Let's look first the price. So you have a refresh button also here. So only futures, we don't have Greeks. So your NA will be coming up, because futures doesn't have a Greeks. Okay, so you see daily, continuously the price is moving higher, the OI is increasing, a steady long built up is seen in this counter. Definitely this you can see from the future OIH also, but if you want it on the trading view, if you want it in the charts, seeing along with the Greeks, definitely it's handy one. So you have the OI, which is now nearly the high of, you can say from August, it is nearly the high. So first thing, you can compare the OI versus the good amount of period. So you have the whole historical data here. So you can check out how the OI has been, like what was the recent swing high. It has broken that and the OI is moving high. So that's first itself a rising price, rising OI with a substantial increase in OI shows that the strength in the counter. When we see that the price is going higher steadily, but the OI is not supporting, that shows that it's very short lived. But when you see that the OI is also increasing in futures along with the price, that gives the confidence which the traders are having. Correct? Now, if I look at Axis Bank, space, I put 26 November 20, that's the expiry, 600 call. Okay, so it's a daily one. So daily, definitely in the options, you don't have much data, but whenever it starts trading, despite we have a 3-month option, in the stock options, you will see nearly 1.5 months data. That's nearly like a 30 days. So intraday charts is the best charts when it comes to that part. So I go in for the 5 minutes data. So if you look here, the OI was nearly like a 15 lakhs 37,000 on a peak side. Okay. So where we were seeing that the price was coming down, there was short one, the OI was at the higher point. The OI was increasing, price was decreasing. It's a short built up. So short built up in a call option. Okay. Now in this point, the gamma was rising, the theta is minus 0.68 because we still have a good amount, like 9 days left for the tier expiry. So you'll start seeing that the theta effect will come into play in the expiry week as we come closer part of it. But during the period also, you can see how the theta is moving. Then you have the IVs. The IVs is in the range like it was nearly 48, which came down to 42. Okay. Now, if you look here from 13th November onwards, we started seeing that the OI started coming down. So there was a shedding in OI with the price going higher. Okay. And the delta. So if you look here, the 0.52 delta, so it was consolidating in this range. Then we saw the delta spurted up. Okay. We saw that the OI was also reducing, and then consistently we saw that it's a moving higher. The OI shedding down. So short covering in the call. We saw the IV rising. So rise in IV supports the buyer of an option, correct? Because when you have a direct relation with the IV up, price higher, IV down, price lower. So when you have a short covering in the option, you saw the IV also rising. So that was a one positive thing again. The danger part when it comes to a long option is the theta. So theta was not that much to worry about. So it's something to be taken with a pinch of salt. So it's a part of the game. So you need to know how to play it well. Vega, again, nothing much to worry. Gamma sideways. So the best thing was the call, the delta. There was a consistently uptick in the delta which was taking place. So the option which was slightly out of the money becomes at the money, and from at the money it becomes now near deep in the money. So we have a delta which is currently at 0.76, right? So which is like a in the money. Now if we look at 620 call, so you have the again the delta breakout is there. So you have 0.4, the breakout consistently moving higher. You saw the short covering in the option in the today's session as we see it. You have the IV which is steadily going higher. So everything is falling in place, correct? Now let's look at say SBI. SBI, a good long built up which was seen over the period. So if I go for a daily chart, so if you look here, nearly the OI of 1 crore 30 lakhs. Sorry, 13 crores, not 1 crore, it's 13 crore. Nearly like a 13 crore is the highest point. So if we start seeing the OI, the future OI crossing this, that itself gives a very strong, you see that the trend picking up. You have the price which has been on a continuously uptick. So right from like a 180 levels to this 240 levels, we are seeing that's a steady jump in the OI. Let's go for the option. So we all know how the 200 strikes behave for the SBI. It's like a Lakshman Rekha. Usko nikal diya to one-sided move hai. So this is how it behaved. The short covering, definitely it's the options thing. The first piece of information will be given by the price OI structure. The second piece of information gives you by the Greeks. So if the Greeks are now seeing a breakout, then it's completely in a different arena altogether. So you have OI considerably going down, the option from becoming from OTM to at the money to in the money. So theta, nothing to worry. So completely sideways. So if I look at now 220 call, so let's go for an intraday data. Right. So consistently first the short build-ups was there till 13th, right? So you have this OI shading. Thereafter we had this OI going higher, price was sideways. So nearly at 9 levels, we saw a lot of OI addition in the call option of 220. So it was sort of like a halting at that point. IVs was also completely flat. It did not give any breakdown or also breakout. Thereafter, we started seeing from the second half of 13th, 14th, and today the falling OI moving with the rising price. The delta, so you had this for the first breakout near this level of 0.65. Once this was removed, this point on 13th November at 1 p.m., so we started seeing the uptick coming up. So the price was, so this delta move, this delta breakout gave us the information that now the trend is changing. Then after we started seeing how the OI of that call option was reducing, the IV was gradually moving higher. Theta was flat, Vega was flat, so nothing to worry about. Gamma was also completely sideways, so nothing to worry from the gamma, theta, Vega perspective. IV was in our support, delta was in our support, shading OI was in our support, because that showed that the writers of our option were now getting really, really worried. Okay, so this is how you play around for with the single leg options. Now lots of things, so we have done a lot on the single leg. Now let's move to the strategy chart. Okay, so when it comes to strategy chart, what exactly we are looking out for? So when we take a trade, so we do a say OTM bull call spread, and then we think like, oh, we made a good money, let's exit. Because when we look at the strategy, your payoff which is there on the expiry date and the payoff which is intra expiry are completely different. The major chunk of the profit comes on the expiry day. We all know that, because the time, the best thing which is given by the money, the best money which is come by the time, comes in the last 2 days when you do any of the hedge strategy. But you can always remain in the strategy with the help of Greeks, because that will tell you whether your strategy is in favor or no. Just by the price action, 20 रुपए का ऑप्शन 40 हो गया, बस अभी निकल जाओ. That's not how it should be. You can always do the, you can say part profit, or you can always, you can pyramid it, you can always add on to your option. So the decision to modify the strategy taken based on Greeks will give you a wonderful results. So when you come to charts, by default it opens all the charts which one have taken. So these are the strategies which I have in my bank. Not all are traded, some I have done for my own analysis purpose, everything, right? So basically you can do any custom strategy you want, so there is no limitations. So you have 40 predefined strategies which is there across the Quantsapp thing, which is there in our learn also. So all the most known strategies would be part of the predefined one. But still, if you want to be creative, because right now option, the way the traders are playing is beautiful. You have multiple straddles coming up, people are selling straddles and multiple strike and creating the entire curve of volatility. Then you have a multiple ratios, not just 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/10, with a deep OTM options. Someone is doing the iron butterfly with broken iron butterfly. So any combination is possible, any expiry. weekly options you play around with, first expiry, second expiry. So any options is available. So in a strategy, create the strategy of your wish. So you can create a strategy. So if I say I can do predefined, custom, I do say predefined one. Say SBIN, sorry, do SBIN bullish. So you have limited risk and all strategy. Say I go for a limited risk. Next. So all the limited risk strategy will come up: long call, bull put, bear call spread, call ratio spread, long call butterfly. I do a bull call spread. So say for instance, 240, 245, you can change the strike. So say for instance, I want to do 240 and 260. Okay. And save. So lot size is 3, quantity is 1. So we are taking one quantity. We can also increase it. So if I say 2, so it will be 2 quantity. Save. Okay. Now, so you see the strategy which is just added, it's coming on the top. You can filter the strategy based on all active. So if I say active, only my active strategy would be seen. If I say partially expired, the partially expired one and the expired one. So one thing very important to tell at this point is like the charts can be opened only for the active strategy. So when I say active, that means where all the legs have the expiry which is still active. So we don't have any legs which is expired. If say for instance, I'm doing a calendar spread and I have 12th November and 19th November calendar spread was done. So moment on 13th, it will become partially expired because one of the leg has expired. I cannot plot the chart because we don't have a graph. We don't have a payoff for 12th November. So you can definitely edit the strategy. So when you click on edit, you will always see that the expiry is moved to the one strike next. So 19 November, if you want to continue with that, you can update or you can change the expiry. But editing the partially expired strategy is compulsory so that you can plot it. You cannot have a expired strategy graph being plotted. Okay. So all your strategies will continue to remain. You can delete a strategy also. So say for instance, I want to delete this. I will just delete it. Okay. Now, so you have an option to edit. So if I want to, I can edit this. I have the name, symbol. You can change the strike. You can change the expiry and the things will get updated. I don't want to do anything. So now I click anywhere on that tab and you'll see the chart getting plotted. So this is SBI bull call spread 240, 260. Okay. Now, so let me call for more data. Let's see, instead of 5 minutes, we do 15 minutes. This is SBI 240, 260 bull call spread. Okay. Now, one thing is there, in a single chart, you have the list of all the symbols. So you have the complete world. You pick up the symbol, you will have all the options, you filter on and you can go to your particular options. In a strategy chart, you will see the list of only your open strategies. So all the strategies which are open with you in your strategy point will be seen here. Okay. So I have all this strategy open. I click on this SBI bull call spread. I have this graph. Okay. If I want to go to any other strategy, I go and do one second. So I have this strategy graph getting plotted. Okay. So this way you can change your strategy. You can see the graph of all your strategy here and you can plot it. So this is SBI 240, 260 bull call spread. So if you look here, From 4th November, if we take it, the spread was nearly 1 rupees. It went to 6 rupees. Okay. By 11th November, it again came down to 1 rupee. By 13th November, 10:45, and from there it is going higher. Fine. Now let's plot the Greeks out here. So I plot the delta. I plot theta, gamma, and vega. So if you look, normally the bull call spread, bear put spread, your theta and those things gets cancelled out. So it gets averaged out. Okay. So nothing much to worry when you have like a bull call spread on the gamma perspective or the vega perspective. Those come into limelight when you have like say short straddle, short triangle, those strategy. Okay. Now, if I have to look this strategy, which was first of all a deep OTM strategy. So nearly at the start of the experiment, SBI was at 210 levels. That point, definitely 240, 260 would be a OTM bull call spread, right? So the first thing, whenever you see the breakout from the delta perspective itself. So if you look here, how you see that the delta is moving. So it has broken the range, earlier range, it saw the breakout and then it started going higher. So we get a confidence from the delta perspective because this is the strategy delta, correct? So when your strategy delta is rising, that shows that the strategy is now moving into in the money phase. Okay, so rising delta shows that strategy is now moving into in the money. So if you start see from the 10th November, basically this move started off. So you had this same point, you had this 2 rupees option going to 6 rupees thing. Thereafter, it came nearly to the same level. Again, we see that the breakout comes nearly 0.25 delta and it continuously is going higher. So at this point, at 3 rupees, we saw again the breakout coming and again it moved higher. So during this phase, the theta of the option, very marginal, is minus 0.15. So negligible part of is there. So you can look just from the premium perspective. You can look from the delta perspective. Now here you won't have the OI because the OI for each strike would be different. So if you want to have a OI graph, you can go and refer the single chart part of it. Similarly, IV of both the legs would be different. So even the IV spread won't be there. So you have the combined strategy Greeks, you have a delta, theta, vega, gamma plotted along with your strategy thing. Okay. Now, if I say I want to say we have done one call butterfly, which is like a 29,000 call buy, 29,500 two lot sell, and 30,000 one. So it is like a proper you can say a call butterfly with almost like a 5:1 reward to risk. I click on it, see the graph. So if you look here, the graph. So weeklies we see normally it gets active towards the end of the previous week. So we don't see much of the volatility, much of the volume itself. Right? Now let's plot the Greeks. Delta, theta, vega, gamma. So now, if you look here, we have delta, which is rising. So delta positive. We are theta positive also, because now it has, the more it approaches towards the 29,500, which was our sold option, we would be benefiting out of the theta, right? So this strategy, if you look at, it's a hedge strategy completely. So you don't have anything surprise element coming up. So you can have a sound sleep, take it, leave it, have confidence in the strategy, and you can have a sound, because we know what could be the worst case loss which this strategy could see. So definitely you can have the architect, you can see max loss, what the strategy could have. Is the max the premium which we have paid? That's the max loss which will be there. Okay. So now if you look here, so steadily we see that the Greeks are moving in our favor. So the jump in theta started out here, somewhere 14th November, 7:15. So towards the end of the Diwali part. So the Murat trading part, if you start seeing towards that, and as we opened today, it was in our favor. So 80 rupees, and consistently it is moving higher. 124 we saw. So the call butterfly. So we all know that butterfly strategies is known to make big money only on the expiry day, because that's the time where the time is the best friend, right? But now here, if you look here, we can always have a mental stop loss here. If it starts, if my delta will start going below this, or if I start seeing this, it's a time to exit. Or let's reevaluate shifting the strikes. Okay. Let's do some short strategies. So this is Nifty short straddle. So what was the strike? We can have the strike here. So I had this 19th November, 12,650 strikes of call put been done. So it was a study perspective. So you see here, this is the short. So as call and put both are sold, you are seeing that the premium is negative, right? So both are sell. So cumulative is a negative number. So you see this is the selling. Now look at the graph thing. Even though it's a short straddle, visualize the graph. So graph going higher, it's a positive trend. So like I sold something at minus 350, it has moved to minus 200. So that's a positive thing. Okay. So this short straddle of 12,650 is paying off still, despite Nifty now approaching towards the level, right? So we saw that till 200 it came, and again this now. So now if it starts breaching this minus 250, we need to be careful that again we can lose out to our own money. So it's a point to book our profit. Now let's see how the Greeks have moved here. Delta, theta, vega, gamma. Okay. Now, so a straddle, when it's initiated, it's like a delta neutral, we always say. But here and there, minus, sometimes it would be minor delta positive, minor delta negative, but it's close to zero, because normally we do at the money is plus zero point 0.5 and minus 0.5, which gets cancelled out. So here and there, it's nearly delta neutral. Over the period, we see that which side is impacting it now. So if you look here, so it is going towards negative. So negative because we are selling the call option. So here it is impacting because of the sold call option, right? So now here you see, if this starts increasing, that means the call option is getting, intensified. The theta, the gain of theta, which was coming to us, is now reducing. So again, we need to be now very cautious that if the trend continues, whatever we would have gained it can go back again. So it's the right time to take a decision that the moment we start seeing that the theta is reducing, there is no point holding on to the strategy, because the short straddle, everything we do because to get the benefit of theta and vega. right? So gamma is increasing the risk factor. So when you're selling the option, the rising gamma, it's not very good. Okay. So overall, if you look here, we need to be now cautious. If this starts moving back to minus 260, 280, then again it can go and we can see a huge loss. So when you're doing a short straddle, short strangle, your gains are limited to the premium which you have earned, but your losses are undefined. I won't say unlimited, undefined. It all depends upon where the underlying moves. So ideally, if the volatility is favoring you, definitely a good thing to initiate. But when volatility and time is not favoring, then we should always have our trading stop losses. So with the help of Greeks, we can have our trading stop losses. So if when we start seeing that now the losses because is intensified, the call is putting a upper hand, the selling call is going in the money. So this is the point to take out the profits of the book, right? So let's add some custom strategy also, we can try out with that. So if I say create a strategy, custom strategy, so let's do some nifty. Okay, once I put that, add leg. So if I say I'm selling right now 12,900 call, add, I'm selling right now the put 12,900, again I'm adding. So and say I'm buying 13,100 call, add, and I'm buying, say I'm doing a iron butterfly. This you can do through predefined also as well as to custom. So just to give an example of custom. Okay. So we are selling the 12,900 call put 19 November and we are going 200 up and down. We are hedging it. So one lot, webinar, custom, I'm flat. Okay. I save this and now I plot this. Okay. So from minus 170, it has moved to minus 106. So nearly like we have made 60 points in this iron fly. Over the from 12th November till date, it has moved that way. So max, like it can go to zero, so wherein you're capturing the entire premium part of it. So once we start seeing this, that it is falling back again, definitely we can have our trailing stop losses. We can have our Greeks based stop losses also. Okay. So definitely the theta, the best thing to play off for the iron fly is the theta part. So we are expecting that the range remains this. So as now we are at the money, so 12,900 is at the money. So the theta is maximum out here. So the benefit is highest out this point if this expires. If we start seeing that the theta is reducing, we can have a trailing stop based on the theta. If we start seeing that any of the delta, so if the range is breaking out, it's now moving negative, then we should have our stop losses in places. We can always have based on the premium. So the premium along with your Greeks will help you to fine tune your strategy. So that's what we are looking out for. So booking, not booking too early or not booking too late is what as a option strategist we want to do. So we want to ideally optimize our timing part. So what is the right time to enter and what is the right time to book profit? So that's how the Greeks can help you out in fine tuning those things. So this way you can have your strategies chart plotted So all your active options based strategy, you can have your custom strategy created, you can have multiple leg strategy created. So let's do some of the ratios which normally people do. So say for instance I create a strategy, I do a custom, my, so I rename it like a custom with ratio bank nifty. Okay, so I add say 29,201 lot and I sell say 29,500. Oh, let's go a little higher, say 29,700. I sell 3 lots. Okay, save. Ideally, ratio is the last option whenever it would come to our mind, because one of the most riskiest strategy, because you are gamma short. But still, if you are doing it, always have a verify it with the data. If the data is in your favor, then only you should go and do it, right? So almost like you're capturing the major part. So it from minus 250 we saw here, and again it is now moving dip. So if you should always have a trailing stop losses, you can keep the trailing stop loss of say 90, never to lose below that. So moment it starts dipping again here, then we tend to lose out. Okay, let's see how the Greeks of a ratio behave. So the game is of theta, definitely. So you have your theta still going higher. Gamma is increasing a lot. So it's a very thin line now. So if you start seeing that the theta curve is going back down and the gamma is, the negative gamma is impacting us a lot, it's time to keep a trailing stop loss. So definitely if you start seeing this dip thing, you can always have a trailing stop loss. So along with the price, your Greeks would be the first one to slope. So if your theta is started sloping down and your gamma is intensifying on the negative side, book out from the strategy. Right? So this way, the strategy chart, looking at the strategy chart, you can have a complete vision of how your curve is moving out and time to do part profit, time to scale out. So you can always scale in also. You can scale in, you can scale out, do the part profit from this strategy chart. So this is what we have from the strategy. So similar thing, a similar way we have it from the Android side also. The concept remains the same. The most important thing is like you to know the proper nomenclature to add to get the simple. So it is very simple, self-explanatory. Put a symbol, space the expiry, space the strike, space the call and put. And as you do it, you see the filtering out coming up. So use the charts combined with your knowledge of the options. Don't forget those part, because those are the core thing. Get the view of the market, and that's how it will move out. So you'll have the open interest, you have the volume analysis, straddle index. So those things come up, and the way you can make it the best way. So be creative the way you can be. So that's it. So I open the floor for Q&A. So you can have the look at the future charts also. So definitely, so say for instance, if I want to do a plain any technical analysis, I have Nifty, I go to indicator, say I put some Bollinger Band, I want to put some RSI. Okay. So say right now, so you always have an option to change the color. So definitely if you click here, you have this settings button. Click on the settings. You can change the style, whatever color you like it, you can do it. So that way you can have it. If you want to change the background color, there's a complete chart setting available. You can change the background color also. Guess so. In appearance, yeah, in appearance, in background, if we do say black, you can have black also. So whatever suits you, whatever is convenient for you, you can look out for that option. 30 minutes. So all your technicals, so you have a list of technical indicators which are available in the trading view. So you can use that along with the custom Quantsapp indicators of Greeks and this, and we'll definitely add on many more custom indicators. So was just the first cut of the charts which we have launched. So going forward, there would be a many new variants which will be coming up, something which would be there. So some good news is like we have launched option symposium. So one of the most awaited event of Quantsapp, that's an option symposium. So after a very good response which we got in 2020, just lucky to be happening it before the entire lockdown stuff. So now we have for option symposium coming up in Jan 2021, 23rd and 24th Jan. So that's a great offer, which is like you go in for an annual subscription of Quantsapp and you get this symposium ticket free. So you have a complete symposium ticket free with the annual app currently going on. So take the best use of it. You will have a lot of analytics, lot of learning, everything combined. So you have an annual thing you can buy and you can get the combo, or you can go only with the app. So whatever is there, the combo comes with no add-on cost. So you can select that or you can just go with the app. So you have really right now 48 tools. So you have a 30 premium tools. There are 17 premium tools, 30 free tools, out of which 11 tools you have something add-on. Like in open interest, you have a custom change in open interest, which is there only to the pro user. In option chain, you have an option chain what if, which tells you precisely at what time, what would be the premium for your options. So when you're an intraday trader, time is something which is the most precious thing for us, right? So in option chain what if, you can go deeper into that. You have the IV entire suite, wherein you can have a historical IV data, be it IVR, IVP, historical IVs for the time it has been launched. So there are many 11 free tools which has an enhanced feature, and not to forget the option algorithm, the optimizer, which is the Quantsapp is known for. So this is the offer for everyone. So you get the symposium plus app combo at no additional cost. So you can go to web.quantsapp.com/subscription. So when you go to your profile one, the second option is subscription. You can buy now and you can book your ticket. So thank you, friends. It was a great session. It was really insightful to meet everyone. So after a very long time, we met up. So wishing you all a very happy new year and a prosperous new year. Thank you, everyone.